Hello. Hello, and we're going live. So, hello, I'm doing a car chat on the way home from school today, and it is 3:24 and we're headed home, and it is raining in New Hampshire. So, New Hampshire is 45 degrees and it's a little bit chilly, kind of medium. And yeah, so I'm just going live, and I was just wondering uh, how my teacher friends are doing. We have Fridays tomorrow, and we have Thanksgiving coming up soon, and wondering what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. We have family in the area, so we'll be going to my daughter's house, and so yeah. How are you guys doing? How is school going? So I'm riding here today with my son, who he's riding in the car with me. So yeah, he's a senior this year, and we also have to race to work. So we're racing to work, and we're headed out. He got a job at the pizza place in town, which is a blessing because it's not far from our house, and we're down a car now. So yeah, so winter's coming, Thanksgiving's coming, and it's the end of the day. I'm a little bit more tired than I usually at the day. And I am a teacher, so I usually talk about teacher stuff on this channel. And I'm talking about just like the teacher life. You know, I was just listening to a video about teachers that are really fed up with teaching. And I know that in the public schools there is so much going on and so many behavior issues, and it's so hard for teachers. And I am thankful for my school where we do, obviously kids are kids, you know, and it's not like we have all a bunch of angels, you know, going from class to class. We do have our issues, but it's nothing compared to what's going on in the public school. So I drive 40 minutes to school, and it's worth it when I hear about all the stuff that's going on. This poor teacher I was listening to, she teaches first grade. She has a student that hits the other students, and they spit on each other and different things like that. It's just so sad, you know. Teachers go to school for 4 years for a college education, and they have to pay for it, you know. It's not free, as you know. And teachers love school, you know. I love school. That's why teachers become teachers. And I've even told my own students, you know, when you're going to college, you're so excited to teach your topic, you know, whatever it might be. I majored in math education, minored in English, and you know, I worked really, really hard to get that degree. And then when you go into first class I went into was junior high in the public school, and I was like shocked because I went to Christian schools, and it's, you know, it's a little bit of a while since you were in junior high, and you always think the best, and you think I'm going to be the one to make everything good for these kids. And you get in there, and you know, back then when I started teaching, it was bad. I mean, when I was a student, it was bad. That's why I got out of the public school. I went up to 8th grade, and then my dad, you know, listened to me. He put me in a Christian school, and I will be forever grateful. But yeah, so you just don't realize as a teacher that you aren't going to be able to fix all these kids' problems. And just seems like it's getting worse and worse, and it's costing more and more for the taxpayers. And I just found out in New Hampshire, um, free unless your student debt gets paid off. Yeah. My education, my dad paid for, so I was fortunate for that. I went to a Christian college, which is sometimes cheaper than a secular college. And so there are some Christian schools that you can go to that aren't as expensive. and you actually learn more. I learned more because we didn't party. We were there to study, and we did have fun. I mean, we did party, but not the world's type of party. We had pizza parties, ice cream parties, and things like that, but we didn't have the kind of parties that young people want to have nowadays, and I don't regret it for 1 second. So anyway, I learned a lot in college. I majored in math. I also was in a flute choir at my college, which was really amazing. I've never heard a flute choir like it since. So I was very fortunate. And the woman who directed the choir, she wrote the music herself. And it was all flutes. I mean, there was no other instruments other than flutes. So it was beautiful. It was like 30 flautists, they say. So that was really fun. I also participated in, they call it extension, when you go to kids in neighborhoods and teach them Bible classes. And I did that on Saturdays and did a lot of really fun things in college. And then, but teachers love school and they want to make a difference in the world. And then they get into these schools that are going on right now, and it's just a zoo. I actually decorated my classroom with animals and kind of kidding about it being a zoo. It's not really a zoo in my classroom, but the public schools are hurting and nobody really knows a solution. We keep throwing money at it. We keep, we say, oh, we need to pay everybody more money, which I understand. Everybody needs more money because the cost of living is higher and everything else, but no amount of money will survive or will make kids learn. And I work at a Christian school where the teachers actually get paid less money than the public school teachers would, and the teachers are actually better. I hate to say it. I mean, they deserve twice as much as what they get. But we agreed to, the program that we're working on. We want to help these kids, and we're willing to have a better environment for less money. So that's what we're doing. And that's what we do at a lot of Christian schools. It's like a ministry there. We're dedicated to the kids, and they don't always understand it. Kids don't really understand the economics of the Christian school, but it is what it is, and we do our best. I am thankful that I went to a Christian school in high school and college. I've kept my kids out of public school. They haven't always understood it. They haven't always appreciated it. But every time I hear the stories of what kids are going through, what teachers are going through, I don't regret it. So anyway, but the teacher life is, you get your teacher schedule. You get the time off for Thanksgiving, time off for Christmas. You get your breaks, and in a lot of ways I do believe teachers need the break, and if it's not physically, it's just the emotional strain sometimes of dealing with kids constantly. And I like the schedule. I can't imagine actually working at a place where you only have 2 weeks the whole entire year. So I've never had to do that, but I do appreciate those who work hard. And so anyway, that's the story. Oh, in New Hampshire, we do have, I work at the State House as well. And thank you for the thumbs up. If you can think of putting a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And in the State House, we have 400 state representatives in New Hampshire. And one of the more conservative leaders in the State House is moving. He just resigned the State House, and he's moving out of state. So I'm really sad about that, because he was really good. He was the chair of the education committee, so that's why I'm talking about it. So I don't know what will, I mean, I know there's other good people on that committee, but he was a really good leader, and he was helping with the parental rights bills and the education freedom in our state. So it's sad to lose a really good patriot like he is. But yeah, he's moving out of state. I was shocked. I didn't know it, and I'm sad about it. But I'm sure somebody else will pick up the torch and carry on the job that he was doing. And so that's education in New Hampshire. Our laws for New Hampshire are pretty good. All you have to do if you want to homeschool is you can tell your superintendent of your town, and you basically can tailor make your education. There were years where I had to, as a homeschool parent, copy the table of contents from the books and let the superintendent know what we're doing for homeschool. That was kind of part of the laws of the state. But as it is right now, all you have to do is take your kid out and send a letter of intent. Hey, I'm so-and-so, my child is so-and-so, and we're going to homeschool this year. And just to let them know that you have a plan, and then you are in charge of your students' education. And so in New Hampshire, we also have the Education Freedom Account, which is a new thing within the last several years, I think 6 years or something, where the parents in the state can apply for funding, and they can receive, if they qualify, they receive some money that they can use for their education or supplies, textbooks, tutoring, teaching, whatever you want to do for your child. And it's a set amount, and you can, if you qualify, you get it given to you in what they call a class wallet. And from there, you can purchase the items that you want. Or you could use it for going to public school or something. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And so we have that in New Hampshire, the Education Freedom Account. So parents who want to take their kids out of the regular public school, you can do that, and you can, get private lessons, music lessons, all that. So that's kind of new for students nowadays. And the head of the chair for the Education Freedom in New Hampshire was a big part of that. He promoted that very heavily. And so we have the Education Freedom Account in New Hampshire. We also have a new education, I think it's commissioner, the person that's in charge of the education department in our state. And so there could be some changes for education in New Hampshire, and we really need to keep our eyes on the rules for education in New Hampshire. So that's one of the things I'm interested in and keep my eyes on. I feel like kids are not being as challenged as they have been in years gone by. I would really like to see education improving in our state. Although I'm pretty sure statistics online and documented statistics that education in New Hampshire is amazing, but it can be one thing on paper, one thing in reality. So from what I'm seeing, there's lots of work to be done to improve the education in our state. So anyway, I'm just chatting. This is my car chat. I'm Cindy. I'm a teacher, and on my channel I just talk about teacher life and things I do in my free time. And just right now, I usually do a morning car chat, but right now I'm doing an afternoon car chat. and I like to just talk about the weather a little bit too in New Hampshire. It's 46 degrees and it's very cloudy today. So it feels a little bit cold, but it's not frigidly cold. So I do obviously have my coat on, but it's almost like, do I wear my coat or not wear my coat? That kind of thing. And we're headed home. So I just wanted to say hello to my friends online and just give you an update and see who's interested in a teacher chat this afternoon. And today we talked a little bit about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up. I love the teacher schedule where we get free time. I have the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off, and I have obviously Thanksgiving and the Friday. So we'll be spending time with friends. I like to take some time to, do some catching up on my cleaning and stuff. And I'm kind of like quiet time these days and just staying home and kind of not running around. I don't really have to run around a lot personally. We talked a little bit about education right now in our country and how lots of teachers are leaving the profession because they're just sick of it. They don't want to be dealing with unruly children. They don't want to deal with parents that don't work with them. There's a lot of problems. There's a YouTube channel, I think it's called Teacher Therapy, and she talks about all the problems people have had with teaching, and she has tons of views. And just so many things that teachers have to deal with these days, and they should be able to just go in, teach their subject and leave, but they have to be mental health advocates. They have to be specialized in special needs and special education. They have to know everything about everything. It's just exhausting. So yeah, so we're just like, teachers have to deal with these things, and we have to take it one day at a time. And so I want to talk about these things on my channel a little bit and just talk about it with other teachers. And so I'm driving home. Actually, I'm driving to bring my son to his job. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.